Sugar leaves are great to put in between sugar flowers when you put them on a cake, and they're very simple to make. I rolled out some gum paste and have cut it with a leaf cutter. Now, there are many different types of leaf cutters depending on the flower that you're making. All of these leaves are created using the exact same techniques with a different cutter and sometimes a different veiner. We'll get to that in just a second. So I've rolled out my gum paste and have cut it with a rose leaf cutter. I take my piece and I want to insert a wire into it so I can stick it into my cake. I want to make sure that the wire sticks into my piece of gum paste. I dip my wire into a little bit of edible glue and brush off the excess on the back of my hand. Holding the petal between my two fingers, I can insert the wire into my leaf shape and make sure that it stays right in the middle. Now, I like leaves that have very thin edges, so I'm going to pinch and roll. The technique is as if I'm snapping. I'm going to pinch and roll the edges all the way around on my leaf to make sure that they are nice and thin. I take my leaf and turn it upside down and place it onto my veiner. I want to make sure that I line up my wire with the center stem that's running through. I also want to make sure that my leaf is in the center of my veiner so that it doesn't roll off the edge. I dip my fingers into a little bit of powdered sugar so that they don't stick to my piece of gum paste. And I'm going to press on the edges all the way around, and then I can press in the center to make my shape, pushing it a little bit wider. Beginner sugar flower makers have a tendency to make their pieces too long, and I want to make sure that they become nice and wide. Then I can peel it off and see all of the veins that I've created on my leaf. Now, the next step is to let it dry. I like to have it dry in bubble. Gum paste needs at least 24 hours to dry, and by putting it into a piece of bubble wrap, I can allow it to create a little bit of movement for my leaf. After they've dried overnight, then we'll start to paint and put them together.